Welcome to the Dynamic Thriving audio blog, where we're very spiritual, with a good dose of practicality in support of your life transformation. This is your host, Mary Ann Pack, spiritual medium, oracle for the many, and joy advocate. Today's audio blog is entitled, Have You Left Your Religion? Have you gone through something and when you really needed support and counseling, you were left high and dry? Or even shunned, shamed, or ostracized by your religion? Our stories may be different, but the feelings will be similar. We are religious refugees. Hurt is hurt. It doesn't matter how we experienced it. We did experience pain and need to be comforted and shown loving compassion. Maybe you went through a divorce that was against your religion. Maybe you came out and were shamed back into your closet. Maybe you had an addiction for which you were harshly judged. Maybe you have a health issue and no one can offer hope for healing, even though you've read in your sacred texts of miraculous healing. Maybe you've even asked too many questions about why your religion believes this or that, when it doesn't make any sense, and those who you asked didn't like it one bit. Your questions challenged their authority, and they lashed out against you. Maybe you realized that your religion was not evolving with the times, and you've outgrown this belief system. You may have transcended beyond their archaic beliefs. Maybe you've been yelled at, scoffed at, and made to feel like you were the crazy one. That's gaslighting at its best. Physical, emotional, and spiritual abusers always turn the table on you. Twist your words to make you wrong, which allows them to get off scot-free. Unfortunately, it traumatized you. You feel abandoned. You feel totally unsupported. You may feel lonely and ostracized. You ache for community and connection. You want a safe space to share your love of the divine. You want a place to belong, to be loved and understood. You're so over the system of beliefs that has been ruling your life and making you play small and feel unvalued and unworthy. I hear you. I see you. I acknowledge you. You may feel the pain of your God wound, but I want to offer you hope for healing. You know you are a spiritual person. You love the divine. You want to walk in a way that resonates with your soul. You want to find a path that brings peace, unconditional love, joy, and appreciation. You want to be your own spiritual sovereign. You want to be the ruler of your life. You know your spiritual path should feel really good, and you want to make that happen. You want to explore the brilliance of your joy and love. You want to express your service in a heartfelt, loving way. You want to feel good in your body the way you did before the pain took over. You want to share the love you know is deep inside you in a way that would benefit all those around you. You want connection, spiritual community, and support. You want to be visible and speak your truth without the fear of negative repercussion. My journey from religious refugee to spiritual sovereign has led me to who and where I am today. As a spiritual guide, I am still on that spiritual path, as it is a lifelong journey. But I've healed so much, and I'm ready to support you on your journey to being who you really are as a spiritual sovereign. You are ready to embody your spiritual thriving. Since my religious background was in a very conservative, traditionally patriarchal church, Christian denomination, I will speak mostly from this perspective. But this relates to all who are religious outcasts that long for loving community and connected support. You long for a safe space to live your spirituality out loud, no matter what that looks like. I asked my spirit guides what I needed to know about being a religious refugee and what I needed to know about you as a religious refugee too. This is the message from the many. Just like you, speaking to me, you as a religious refugee, have suffered at the hand of misaligned souls who were also hurting. They, the teachers, the religious leaders, were using their power to control instead of loving people into the fold. They followed a dogma, ancient text or scriptures, from the past that was so misinterpreted and should have been left to those for whom it was written so many years ago. These old writings were not for those who taught you or for you. You have access now. You don't need messages recorded for past generations. They lived in a different time and space. You have advanced far beyond where they were on their evolutionary journey. Each generation since those writings have evolved beyond, have grown because of their asking. Each generation has added to the asking, which brings us to now. Simply observe your life and the momentous evolution. Now compound that with generations before you. Do you see how far removed you are from where they, the ancients, were? That's why this doesn't resonate with your soul. You have moved so far beyond their stage of evolution, you've grown far beyond what resonated with their ancient souls. Look within. You have everything you need for a joy-filled life experience. You don't need to look to the past for rules to live by. You have everything you need within. Your spirit is alive and well. Your inner being is here with us and within you. Utilize your inner being's guidance for a life well lived. Yes, that life experience, those painful religious experiences, helped form who you are, and that is valuable because it caused you to ask for even more. Those coming after you will be even more removed from those dogmas, the ancient text teachings. You each have your own guidance and need nothing carried forward from the past. It is obsolete for your stage of evolution. Be present now with your inner guidance and live fully in love. Love for self, love for others, love for more, love for creating, love for evolution. That is our message for you. Go in peace. The many. Does this message from the many resonate with you? Do you feel that your religious texts are so outdated and ancient? You can't even wrap your mind around why anyone would believe this stuff. You do see general themes or principles running through the texts, as I do, but the overall text is obsolete for today's world. These principles are universal. That's why they still resonate. But the details and stories are simply not for us today. The original readers related, but that is not for us, as we have evolved so far beyond what they were living and thinking. I love that the many states that we have evolved so much since these sacred ancient texts were written. I love that they acknowledge we are on this evolutionary path and that the next generations will be even further from these old documents and dogmas that we are. I love that we are growing and evolving with every generation, even within our own personal lives. We can see where we once were and can acknowledge our growth. The best thing is that we will continue to evolve and grow for the rest of our physical lives here and then beyond into eternity. It's a never-ending evolution. What a joy to know this fact. It stands to reason if we never get it done, because evolution is eternal, we can never get it wrong. We can never wander so far from our path that we cannot return with even greater knowing. That wandering causes us to know what we don't want, so we can certainly know what we do want. We want more from life. As we begin to remember who we really are, we will remember all the precious parts that will return to us in our wholeness. We will gather all the parts that we stuck away and shut up because it wasn't safe. All the parts that we boxed up and shut up in a closet of fear. We will gather all the spiritual parts that love life and others but got stomped on. We will gather the new beliefs that resonate with our soul. For those of you who are serious about becoming a spiritual sovereign, I am creating a new program, the Goodness Formula, and support group for us. I do include myself in this group, as I am still a recovering religious refugee making my way to being a spiritual sovereign. I'll be telling you more about the Goodness Formula in the coming weeks. My spirit guides are adamant that I remind you of your goodness. If you truly are ready to authentically walk in your spirituality because you so long for a life of joy, unconditional love, and understanding, please complete and submit this questionnaire. This questionnaire link will be in the show notes. This will let me know of your interest and give me an idea of your story and what you'd like to receive inside this community of support. I will be teaching on a regular basis and making time for Q&A sessions. I will also invite other amazing coaches, oracles, shamans, and intuitives to talk to us openly and candidly. We will have a safe and private community for loving support, asking questions, and real connection, where we are safe and comfortable being who we really are, to know and be known. This form does not commit you to join, and it is at no cost. It is simply a way for me to understand your needs and how I can best serve you. It will help me provide you with the best content that will serve your transformational journey toward being your own spiritual sovereign. I am developing the dynamic, thriving spiritual community to help each of us explore our brilliance and empowerment. Enough with just surviving. It's time to thrive in every area of life: relationships, health, finances, and especially our spirituality. When our spiritual relationship is aligned with the wholeness of who we really are, everything else will fall joyously into place. If you would like to read more about the dynamic, thriving spiritual community, please visit my website, maryannpack.com, and you will find the dynamic, thriving spiritual community on the front page. At the bottom of this page, you'll find links to some of our podcast episodes about thriving beyond religious trauma, when I asked guest coaches to interview me. If this post resonated with your soul, or you know someone who has a similar experience, please share. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this podcast. It's time for us to become the spiritual beings we are meant to be, freely, authentically, and fully expressed in love. Remember to complete and submit the questionnaire. Thanks in advance. To your dynamic thriving, this is Mary Ann Pack, your spiritual medium, oracle for the many, and joy advocate. You'll find all these links in the show notes.